Welcome to this segment of Soul, Silence, and Sound. This is brought to you by BeSimply.
Stars, trees, clouds, and the moon. They all have a meaning and they look just like you.
Segment of Soul, Silence, and Sound. This is a full moon segment, and it here on the North American continent on the Pacific West Coast went past the full lunation in the afternoon, and staring at it right now, I'll say by naked eye observation of astronomy is really powerful. It's not completely full. So I encourage you to feel into it. And a couple nights ago, I could really feel the impact of the moon. And again, no matter how you feel about the moon, it does have a electromagnetic feed to our system. I will say, and this is important too, if one is open to new bodies of information, it can shift how we understand our condition, our ecosystem, our reality. And there's a gentleman that was wording that the moon actually doesn't govern our tide structure. And I was like, wow, that's a very interesting thing to think about. And the circulation within the ocean. So I haven't gone and done a deep dive. This was recently, but just having the willingness to be like, okay, but at the same time, we can feel the impact of the moon. And so this is another aspect of how important it is to have a physical relationship with how you perceive things, even if some of it's ethereal, then bring it to the physicality. Because ultimately our presence here is what informs us. And we could regurgitate this, that, or the other. We could even take quote unquote science without actually back checking it ourselves and looking at the quality of the science and the study. And oftentimes we hear those sound bites, which end up being a mind control mechanism, similar to we could take something as quote unquote the gospel, and then when we stop and think about it, or someone mentions it another way, if our mind is open and clear, we'll be willing to walk around it. And that's the other component, that when we're in meditation, the ability to walk around something and observe it from all directions will give you new bodies of information that you can incorporate, and ultimately in a spiritual practice to assist you in retaining higher states of being with self and others. And that self-awareness gives you the ability to consider yourself in relationship to an ecosystem and to consider others. And so as we continue to explore and become more and more aware of our current set of conditions, that allows other things to come forward and be present with each and every one of us. So we are at that full moon, and the new moon was inviting the veils, the dropping of more and more information that gives us this new body of information, this new body of understanding what is. And I spoke a little bit about the blue star, Kachina, as it relates to a celestial body, but also a practice and part of the Hopi culture. And that blue star is really inviting us to awaken so that we can consider things a little differently than we were conditioned to receive them. And as this happens, all is becoming visible. And so as I mentioned, the actions that each and every one of us take, depending as to why one is taking the actions, the visibility becomes greater and greater. So there's no corners to hide behind or all those things just becomes very clear. And even sometimes what will continue to happen is the person, place, or thing may not even be aware that people see it. And it's kind of like, I almost call this like the full Monty, like everything's exposed. And sometimes people don't realize that they're in that state of being. And that is the most profound for me and humbling part of a spiritual practice, is because when one understands that each action that is recorded, there's going to be this cause and effect. And that action can start from the mind, from the words, from the physical actions, and even from the resonance that one sends out into the field around them. That each one of those are immediately recorded, and that imprint starts to have these ripples. And then depending at how big that imprint is and what the effect will be, that will determine many, many different things. And it becomes humbling because it's like, whoa, I have to be accountable potentially if I want to be, if I espouse to be a spiritual and aware being. It doesn't mean that just because you can be still or you can be kind and peaceful, are you willing to take full accountability for every action that you take, every word you speak, and every thought that you think? Are you willing to hold yourself to a level of divinity and to be patient with yourself during this process? And so that's part of this, like, all is visible, everyone's fully exposed. And at the same time, no one's exempt from this. It doesn't matter how much of this, that, or the other one feels they have or doesn't have. Everything's exposed. All's visible. And there's a patience that's required because, as I mentioned at the beginning of this lunar cycle, that certain things have to organize, self-organize, and in order to coalesce and come into resolution, and also the impact, the reverb, the wake of all those actions. And this is a big one, you know, that we're wrapping up in a certain level. And I know that many people are tired and they are being pulled in different ways of optics. And that can feel overwhelming and fearful and uncertain. Yet I really encourage you all to remember that everything is possible and that all things are malleable, and that even within cause and effect, that at any point, if someone has awareness and has the ability to be self-aware and aware of others, that right action can take place. Even if you have been in a role where you're the nemesis to society, or even if you've been in a role where you have been the victim in society, at any given moment, there is the ability to get things right and then allow them, by you taking right action for the highest and best of all to then self-organize. So as you complete this lunar cycle, I encourage you to imagine just being completely visible, like completely in your birthday suit everywhere you go, and not so much concerned about your own nakedness, but that the nakedness of your eternal being and your actions, and it's fully available right now. And the reason for that is to bring people into integrity, to bring bring people into their ethics and their core values and what's important to them. And that brings everything back into balance ultimately, because these things that have been perpetrated and are being perpetrated on humanity are ready to come into right action. So I encourage you all not to lose hope and to really understand that you have a responsibility to yourself to clean up your inner landscape and continue to make that commitment to self, that you will continue to work on that, because conditions and new bodies of information will eternally and infinitely continue to arrive. Therefore, asking each and every one of us as eternal beings to learn how to adapt, to drop in, and to be present. And if we can move from a place of clear vision and have patience while the unexplainable self-organizes all that is unraveling right now. And I'm excited for humanity that they can see and they're willing to use their voice in a way to say enough is enough. Basta. Enough is enough. Basta, basta, basta. It's time for all of you to rest in your heart, rest in the divine, and allow yourself to see what needs to be seen and be patient with the process of the cosmic reorg that is not based on the society that we've known. And so as this shift continues to unfold, you can ask yourself, if inspired, where can I really examine what's exposed? And where can I refine this aspect of myself that's exposed? And where can I build up where the things that I'm proud about, the things that I feel and know are valuable, and maybe other people would like to know how to be that way too. So how people learn is by embodiment and by showing up that way. It's, the nurture versus nature with kids. A lot of what they learn is by what they observe. And so if you're ready in the places where you have a clear understanding of your strengths and the areas where you're continuing to work to master, to really hold yourself accountable to embody that and to share that, and the aspects of yourself that are now exposed, that you soften that gaze and you decide, hey, I'm ready to take responsibility for this and be accountable, and to be less selfish. Because those jagged little edges that we all have, we ultimately become selfish to self because we won't take the time to really address what needs to be addressed. And we, as a society, have shoved a lot of things under the rug. And when we decide, okay, I'm going to be selfless and I'm going to refine this aspect of myself that needs to be addressed, that helps the whole. So whatever that is from within you, start there, while simultaneously, because this is a theme that we're being invited, simultaneously refining and then refining the things that are already strong. You want to keep nourishing them and tending to them so they can refine in a way that there's a level of mastery and greater strength to help our society, and to really show up and acknowledge that which has held you back or has been the jagged edge that's ready to be honed out and polished. And the one thing also within this, because we're coming out of a hierarchical society that's been really imposed upon humanity for a long time, and everyone is equal. Everyone oscillates at the same rate, meaning that there's a rate in which your eternal being oscillates. And now your body might be overcharged, overworked. You might have a tendency to run fast or move slow. but your eternal being, everyone oscillates at the same rate. Yet each one of you is unique and contributes to this beautiful tapestry that is so magnificent and awe-inspiring. And when you sync up with that oscillation and your contribution to this beautiful tapestry, it shifts because there's no hierarchy. It means that everyone is showing up and doing their part. And, when we impose this idea that someone's more awake or someone is quote unquote enlightened, that puts this hierarchy in again. And really it's about softening the gaze, humbling down, remembering that there will always be new bodies of information, new things to examine. Yet each one of us has this responsibility to ourselves and others to take care of what's needed on the most basic level for self and others. And that will allow you to sync up where you're in this cosmic tapestry. And I will, in this moment, it doesn't go to a central point, like a 1-point perspective, which many people sometimes like to say. Think of it as a field of energy that you contribute to. And your uniqueness serves, similar to, I've used the example before, as the ants moving the microorganisms through the forest, or the bees pollinating the flowers. These are super important actions, and never do they stop doing this. They have the responsibility and they keep doing it, irregardless of what's happening around. Even if a forest is being clear cut, the ants are still moving the microorganisms. They are not up in arms that the forest is being clear cut. They have an innate knowing that they are to be serving by moving these microorganisms. Just like the termites have innate knowing that they're there too in a forest situation to actually thin the forest by eating away some of the trees. There's this dynamic, unexplainable balance that's always happening. And in nature, everyone follows in line because there's not the ability based on their place in that moment to be that. And if you think of the trees, they're there in service to us all to do so many things for us. And there's not a complaint about it. There's not an opposition. There's not a tug this way or that way. And so what's ultimately happening right now is we're coming closer and closer to that inner union, the yoga within all of us. And the divinity within all of us is helping us guide us there so that we can remember what our role is. And each and every one of you, it's unique because you came into a human incarnation, a human suit. And so that's very precious. And the deeper you remember the purpose of being here, the more that your natural innate gifts will come up and they'll serve, similar to how the ants serve when they move the microorganisms through the forest. And there's so many examples of that throughout the oceans, through the land, everywhere, the sky. And so if you combine that with the idea that everything's visible, which it is, if you really deepen your understanding of cause and effect, it gets really humbling really fast. And then when you realize that everything is visible, it shifts how you show up. And I share that with a little bit of a lighthearted levity because I don't want anyone to feel like heaviness with it. It's just like humbling to realize like, wow, this is visible, and it's going to get more and more visible because as a collective humanity, we've been living in a guise of manipulation, smokes and mirrors, and orchestrated division. So before we go into the meditation, I'll keep it this simple, is that if you're ready just to feel into visibility, not only what's visible from your inside to the outside world, but in others, and to observe in a way like you do in meditation, where you're observing but not with judgment. You're observing so that you can understand new perspectives and new bodies of information so that you can apply that to how you serve. And then from there, if you can bring in patience as we go through this process together and watch the self-organization, the orchestration. And remember, I've shared this many times, and this is the one interesting dichotomy of so many people interfacing with sound. And there's part of it is a technological way, and then there's an organic way. Inorganic and organic, we'll call it. And within that, it's the same polarities that we're experiencing in the outside world. And so if you spend some time observing the organic self-organization, you realize that the inorganic influence over each and every one of you through technology, through frequencies that are created through machines, actually locks you further into entrainment and a mind control that has kept humanity asleep. And so the self-organization is something that is unique to each and every one of us and to the cosmos around us. And so it's nothing for anyone listening in to be afraid of. It's to be celebrated and actually to work really diligently to be self-led versus being manipulated through inorganic frequency, aka the computer, this technology that I'm recording on, that you really understand when you interface with it what it's doing. And I, here using it, do my best to honor it and show up as authentic and integral as possible in each and every moment. I am still human and fallible like all of you that are listening, yet that's my commitment to my work here in serving others. So if inspired, enjoy being in the full Monty. Enjoy practicing patience. And then also, that was interesting. Also enjoy becoming self-organized with yourself. No trending or opposition. Showing up where you're needed. So with that being said, I welcome you to come into an upright seated position. Taking a nice deep breath in. And exhale out. Again, inhale. And exhale. One more inhale. And exhale.
circle in the sun.
Gently from there, I welcome you to gently lean back and recline or move fully into Shavasana, a prone position on your back with your palms facing upward as we transition into receiving sound. As you settle in, just take a nice gentle breath into the heart and out. Again, inhale. And exhale. And one more inhale. And exhale. And then continue to follow your natural breathing pattern.
Josheani Veai, Josheani Voani Veai, Neani Vai Vaum O ai ai ane aum ane aum vo ane ai ane ai ano ai aum ane ane
Taking a soft, gentle breath in and out. Gently just bringing your awareness to my speaking voice and back to just your awareness of your surroundings, moving out of the inner landscape to the outer. And feel free to stay where you're at, or when you're ready, roll over onto one side or the other, and then gently rise up into a seated position. And as you do this, I welcome you just to take a few breaths in your own rhythm, in and out. Just pulling and extending your spine up and out. And then from there, just taking a moment to express silent gratitude for all aspects of self. And then, if inspired, sending out some love and kindness to a person, people, and or place that you feel it might be needed, wanted, and welcomed. And then gently from there, I welcome you just to take a moment to bear that which you're ready to tend to, take responsibility for, and then also what you're ready to continue to feed and nourish that's already has some strength, because you'll need both as we move forward. And allow yourself some contemplation before you take certain actions, thoughts, speaking, remembering that there's a visibility, there's an imprint left with these and a ripple effect. And that pause will help assist you in guiding you towards right action. And at any given moment, no matter what your role is in this cosmic play that we're all participating in, you have the freedom to take right action for yourself and for others. And so within that visibility, compassion, love, patience, stillness will be beneficial. And as that happens, this reorganization that is not being dictated by any one central force. It is being co-created by each and every one of us. And may each and every one of you remember your divine gifts, your innate intelligence, your wisdom, so that you can serve and provide the solutions needed in your communities, within your home, and receive that which you need to do that. And a simple way to receive is just to open up your heart to the divine that runs through you and really welcome yourself to see how it comes in and how you can work with it. And the final component I will share about this transition we're in is that it very much requires action and to be present in the space that you're in. So while these mechanisms can take us far and wide, I encourage you to be here, to tend to what you can touch. And if we do that simple action in all of our homes and our communities, the world will shift because your voices are being heard, and you care, and be so thankful that you care. That's a gift. So I would like to thank each and every one of you for caring and being here in this moment. I would like to thank Random Rab, Dante Marino, and Kadri Scott for your contributions in your own ways. And we're going to exit out with a little Kadri Scott called Just Me. I believe that's what I have lined up from her new album, Higher. And as always, I encourage you to support the arts in all forms. And where you can, put aside a little part of your energy that you exchange in the thing called currency, and practice mindful exchange and giving and generosity. You know, we are nourished so much by creation, and why not give back so the wheel can keep turning for the benefit of all. All right, until next time, this is Suzanne signing out with a full heart, a soft gaze, a gentle smile, a deep bow, and